Hello everyone. In this, let us see the detailed explanations for the questions which were asked in CTET 2026. The exam was held on 7 February 2026. Social Studies, Social Science, paper 2 questions. Let us see all the questions which were asked from the history section in this CTET examination. Let us see the first question, numbered question 51 in the official question paper. A place where documents and manuscripts are stored, and today all the national and state governments have them to keep all their old official records and transactions is called. Options: option 1 archive, option 2 secretariat, option 3 library, option 4 parliament. Here, so where these documents and manuscripts are stored, the place, here the correct answer is archive. Let us see the detailed explanation also. So you know that what do you mean by this secretariat? Secretariat is nothing but an administrative office. Okay, and this library is concerned with the books, published books. We can see so many published books in a library that are made for reading. And parliament, what do you mean by this parliament? Parliament is the interested with the task of making laws. It is no way in relationship with the storing of these documents and manuscripts. It is interested with the responsibility of making laws. Okay, so here the correct answer is archive. Let us see the detailed explanation also. So an archive is a repository specifically meant for storing original documents and manuscripts and official records of the governments or institutions. Distinct it from a library. A library is different, that holds published books that are meant for reading. And what do you mean by the secretariat? The secretariat is an administrative office. And what is this parliament? Parliament is interested with the responsibility of making laws, that is the legislative organ of the government. So here the correct answer is archive. Archives are crucial primary source for historians. Okay, and this question was made from the NCERT class 8th, our past chapter, how, when and where. Okay, let us move to the next question, that is 52nd question. Which of the following statements related to the Tamil region is wrong? You have to identify this statement. Which of the following statement is wrong? Options: option 1, each of these 3 chiefs had 3 centers of power. Option 2, Sangam poems mention the Movender. Option 3, Movender is a Tamil word meaning 3 chiefs used for heads of 3 ruling families. Option 4, the 3 ruling families were the Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. Here the correct answer, the incorrect statement is each of the 3 chiefs had 3 centers of power. This is the incorrect statement. We have to identify the incorrect statement. Okay, we have to identify the incorrect statement. Why it is incorrect statement? Because these chiefs had only 2 centers of power. That include inland, 1 center of power inland, and other center on the coast of the region. Okay, so that's why this statement is incorrect. And the remaining statement, the Sangam poems mention the Movender, it is a correct statement. Okay, and Movender is a Tamil word meaning 3 chiefs used for head of the 3 ruling families, that is also correct. And the 3 ruling families were the Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. Okay, so here the incorrect statement is the first one. Let us see again see the detailed explanation here. Okay, According to the NCERT text, each of the three chiefs, Cholas, Cheras, and Pandyas, these are three families, had two centers of power. Okay, one on inland and one on the coast. So, not three centers of power. All the other statements, Sangam poems mentioning the Movender and its meaning and the identity of three ruling families are correct, making the statement 1 incorrect. Let us move to the next question, that is 53rd question. Okay, carefully observe the statements. The relationship between the state and religion may be a bone of contention in today's Indian polity, but history presents workable solutions. Okay, so here it is saying that the relationship between the state means the governments, be it the state government or the central government, and the religion may be a bone of contention in today's Indian polity, but history presents workable solutions. Choose the appropriate reasons for the above assertion. A. Temples were often central to economy and society. B. The town of Ramdaspur had developed around the central Gurudwara called Harmandir Sahib. C. Sufis were Muslim mystics who rejected outward religiosity and emphasized the compassion for all human beings. History is about the battles between different states and religions. Okay, so here the appropriate reason, we have to identify the appropriate reason. All these A, B, C, only A, B, and C. These are the appropriate reasons that supports that history presents workable solutions. The correct answer is second one. Let us see the detailed explanation. Okay, let us see the detailed explanation. Here you can see here statement A, B, C. Each illustrate historically workable, often harmonious relationship between the religious institutions and traditions and economic life, as it is clearly evident in the statement. Temples are economic hubs, and a town growing peacefully around a Gurudwara, which is different from the one's religion, and Sufis' emphasis on compassion over religiosity. Though they are from a different religion, still they are emphasizing on the compassion for all other human beings. All human beings are equal. Okay. Statement D, framing history merely as inter-religious battles, does not support the assertion about workable solutions. That's why it is excluded. Okay. So it is a correct answer. Let us move to the next question, 54th question. Unusual for the 12th century, Kalhana used a variety of sources, unlike the writers of Prashastis. He was often critical about the rulers and their practices. What are his sources? His sources include, this is a question. Okay, first of all, we have to understand what we mean by this 12th century. 12th century means 1100 to 1200. So, in this span of 100 years, Kalhana used a variety of resources. Okay, option 1, earlier histories, eyewitness accounts, documents, and inscriptions. Option 2, earlier histories. Option 3, earlier histories and eyewitness accounts. Option 4, earlier histories, eyewitness accounts, and documents. Here, the correct answer is earlier histories, eyewitness accounts, documents, and inscriptions. Kalhana used a variety of resources, unlike the other writers of Prashasti. Let us see the detailed explanation. Who was this Kalhana? Kalhana, as you all know that he was the father of the Rajatarangani. And what is this Rajatarangani? A 12th century history of Kashmir. He is noted by NCERT for using an unusually wide range of sources for the first time, including the written histories, eyewitness accounts, official documents, and inscriptions. Okay, so which allowed him to be critical of rulers rather than simply eulogize them as Prashasti writers typically did. Eulogize means high praise, highly praising. Okay, so these Prashastis were also the written works which are written by some writers in praise of king, okay. So unlike this process is this in praise of kings, this Kalhana used a variety of resources and which allowed him to be critical of the rulers rather than simply utilize them as a process the writers typically did. Let us move to the next question. 55th question. Which of the following are true with regard to the Marathas? This question is with respect to the Marathas. Okay, let us see. A statement. Shivaji carved out a stable kingdom with the support of powerful warrior families. These powerful warrior families were called Deshmukhs. Highly mobile peasant pastoralists were the backbone of the Maratha army. Highly mobile peasant pastoralists were called the Kumbis. These are statements and this question is with respect to the Marathas. Let us see the options. Only A, B, C, only A and C, only C and D. Option 4, A, B, C, D. These are the statements. Actually, the correct answer is all the statements. All the statements. All these statements are correct with respect to the Marathas. Okay. So Shivaji carved out a stable kingdom with the support of these warrior families. Okay, and these warrior families were also known as Deshmukhs. Okay, and with respect to the army, this mobile peasant pastoralists were the backbone of the army and they were called as Kumbis. Let us see the detailed explanation. All the four statements are accurately describe Maratha state formation as presented in NCERT. These we collect all this information from the official sources, NCERT only. Shivaji built a stable kingdom using the support of powerful families called the Deshmukhs. Okay, and while the mobile peasant pastoralists Kunbi communities formed the backbone of highly mobile Maratha cavalry based army. Okay, so all the statements are correct with respect to this Marathas. Let's move to the next question. Historical claim. This is the 56th question. The Ahom built a large state. Choose the appropriate evidence for the above claim. Let us see the statements. The Ahoms used firearms to build a large state. The Ahoms made high quality gunpowder and cannons. The Ahom state depended upon forced labor. In 1662, the Ahoms defeated the Mughals. Okay, so we have to find the evidence with respect to this historical claim. Ahoms built a large state. Okay, actually all the statements are correct except D. So wherever you have D, you have to eliminate all those options and the correct answer is A, B, C. Because let us see the detailed explanation. Ahoms used firearms from as early as 1600 and were skilled at producing high quality gunpowder and cannons, and their state relied on the pike system of forced labor. This system is known as the pike system, and with the help of this pike system and forced labor, they used to build the infrastructure and maintain the army. All directed evidence of state building capacity. Actually, and why this statement D is incorrect is it was not the Ahoms defeated the Mughals, but it was the Mughals. It was actually the Mughals who attacked and defeated Ahoms. Okay, that's why the statement D is excluded. Let's move to the next question. 57th question. State the validity of the following on peasant revolts. It is with respect to the peasant revolt. Assertion. Those who are oppressed do not always rise up in rebellion. They do so only at times. Reason. In 1859, the Indigo Rights felt that they had the support of local Jamindars against the planters. Conclusion. Women turned up to fight with pots, pans and kitchen implements. Okay. So all these statements are valid. Let us see. Only assertion and conclusion are valid. Assertion, reason and conclusion are valid. Only assertion, reason are valid. only reason and conclusion are valid. And the correct answer is assertion, reason and conclusion. All these things are valid. So let us see why all these things are valid. All three statements are valid by the NCERT on account of this 1859 Indigo Rebellion. Peasants generally endured oppression and rebel only when specific conditions align. The rights felt emboldened because local zamindars supported them against the European planters. Okay, these rights for having the support of these local zamindars. That's why they felt emboldened, and women actively joined the resistance, fighting with everyday household implements such as pots, pans, and kitchen tools. That's why all these are correct. Let us move to the next question. The following are some facts related to the company policies during the second half of the 18th century. Artisans started deserting villages. The company purchased goods in India by gold and silver. The revenue collected in Bengal could finance the purchase of the goods. The company became the Diwan. We have to arrange these events chronologically as per their occurrence. Okay, so let us see first the East India Company. The East India Company purchased goods in India by gold and silver. Okay, and next the East India Company after 1764, after the Battle of Buxar, it got the rights of Diwani. Okay, Diwani, and it used to collect taxes. So it got the permission to collect taxes. So C. The revenue collected, B is the first one, and C or D. The company became Diwan in 1765. Next, the revenue collected in Bengal could finance the purchase of goods. Next, C. Later, artisans started deserting the villages. So, B, D, C, A. The second one is the correct answer. Okay, let us see the detailed explanation. Chronologically, the East India Company initially purchased Indian goods using gold and silver bought from the Britain. Okay, that is B. After the Battle of Buxar in 1764, the company was granted Diwani rights over Bengal in 1765, becoming the Diwan. It then used the revenue collected in Bengal itself to finance further purchase of goods instead of importing bullion. This exploitative expression eventually caused artisans to desert villages due to the falling incomes and forced procurement. Okay, understood? The East India Company, when they came to our India, they purchased our Indian goods with the help of gold and silver bought from the Britain. But what happened after the Battle of Buxar in 1764? The company was granted the Diwani rights over Bengal in 1765, which allowed them to collect taxes, and the revenue generated from collecting the taxes in Bengal itself used to finance further purchase of goods and instead importing bullion. This exploitative expression eventually caused artisans to desert villages due to falling incomes and forced procurement. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following institutional developments were the direct outcomes of the Woods Dispatch? Let us see the statements. Education departments of the governments were set up in provinces. Centralization of education under the Governor General took place. Steps were taken to establish a system of university education. Indian civil services for colleges were set up in England. Okay, so which of the following are correct? All of the above, one of the above, two of the above, three of the above. The correct answer is two of the above. Two of the above. Let us see the detailed explanation. Wood's dispatch of 1854 directly led to the setting up of provincial educational department. The statement is correct. And steps towards establishing university education resulting in the foundation of Calcutta, Bombay, Madras universities in 1857. It is also correct. It did not centralize the education under Governor General. In fact, it encouraged the provincial department. That's why the statement is incorrect. And the establishment of ICS, Indian Civil Services Training Colleges in England, was not a direct outcome of this dispatch. That's why only two of the given outcomes A and C, A and C are correct. Let's move to the next question. Who amongst the following argued that before Aryan rule there existed a golden age when warrior peasants tilled the land and ruled the Maratha countryside in just and fair ways? 1. Jyotirao Phule, 2. Guru Nanak, 3. Raja Rammohan Rai, 4. Periyar. Okay, so who argued? Here the correct answer is Jyotirao Phule. Let us see the detailed explanation. Jyotirao Phule, a pioneering social reformer from the state of Maharashtra. Okay, he constructed a vision of a golden age before Aryan conquest, when warrior peasants, whom he associated with the indigenous non-Brahmin population, tilled the land and governed the Maratha countryside justly before being subjugated by Brahmanical Aryan rule. Okay, a narrative he used to critique caste-based oppression. Okay, so it was Jyotirao Phule who argued that before Aryan rule there existed a golden age when warrior peasants tilled the land and took the Maratha countryside in just and fair ways. Let's move to the next question. Consider the following statements on the non-Brahmin movement. This question is with respect to the non-Brahmin movement. Slowly, carefully observe the statements. The movement came from non-Brahmin caste that had acquired access to education. The movement argued that the Aryans were the indigenous races. The movement came from non-Brahmin caste with wealth and influence. Okay, these were the statements. 1. Only B is valid. 2. Only A and C are valid. 3. Only B and C are valid. 4. Only C is valid. Here the correct answer is this is let us see, the movement came from the non-Brahmin caste that had access to education. This statement is correct. A is correct. A is correct. A is correct. And the movement argued that the Aryans were the indigenous races. It is incorrect. The movement came from the non-Brahmin caste who had wealth and influence. This is also correct. A and C are valid statements. A and C are valid statements. Let us see the detailed explanation. Only A and C are valid. Why they are valid? Let us see. The non-Brahmin movement drew support from the non-Brahmin caste that had gained access to education. It is the education through which the non-Brahmin caste led this movement, and from those among them who possessed wealth and social influence. This is the statement C. Statement B is incorrect. Why? Because the movement following Phule's ideas actually argued that Brahmins were the descendants of the Aryan invaders, while non-Brahmins were the indigenous population. The opposite of claiming Aryans were indigenous. Let us move to the next question. Social insecurities in any society result from a sense of alienation. In this context, Indian nationalist movement was a movement to acknowledge the supremacy of people over the structures of government, to do away with the differences of class, color and language, to acknowledge the government as being equal to God. 1. Only B and C. 2. Only A. 3. Only B. 4. Only A and B. We can easily eliminate this option C, as that to acknowledge the government as being equal to God. Okay, so by removing the C option, we are removing this. Is incorrect. Here the correct answer is 4. A and B only. Let us see the detailed explanation. The Indian national movement sought to establish that political sovereignty and legitimacy registered with the people rather than the unaccountable colonial government. It must sit with the legitimacy with the people, and it aimed to build unity among the Indian across differences, class, color, region, religion and language. irrespective of all these things, transcending all these differences, it aimed to build unity among the Indians, to forge a shared national identity. It never sought to elevate government to the status of God, which contradicts the democratic spirit of this movement. Only option A and B are correct. Let us move to the next question. 62 question. It was established in Madras, Chennai in 1864. It worked to abolish caste distinctions and promote widow remarriage and women's education. It condemned the superstitions and rituals of Orthodox Hinduism. Identify the associated movement or organization. Option 1, Theosophical Society. Option 2, Self-Respect Movement. Option 3, Veda Samaj. Option 4, Vedanta Samaj. Here the correct answer is Veda Samaj. This movement is associated with the which work to abolish the caste distinctions. Let us see the explanation. The Veda Samaj was founded in Madras, Chennai in 1864 with the aim of abolishing caste distinctions and promoting widow remarriage and women's education, and condemning the superstitions and rituals associated with this Orthodox Hinduism. A reform agenda distinct from Theosophical Society that focused on spiritual or esoteric focus. And what is this self-respect movement? It was started by Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakar. Periyar started later in the 1920s. It started as early as in 1864 only. Or Vedanta Samaj, self-respect movement means. So it is Veda Samaj. Let us move to the next question. After the attainment of independence, why did the demand for linguistic states intensify? Identify the statements. A. In 1920, the Indian National Congress had promised that after independence, each major linguistic group would have its own province. B. After independence, the Congress did not take any steps to honor its promise for major linguistic groups having their own province. The Kannada, Telugu speakers had looked forward to having their own state. The strongest protest came from the Telugu speaking people. D. Nehru and Patel were against the creation of linguistic states. Okay, the correct answer is only A, B and C. Okay, all these statements are correct. You can see here. After the attainment of independence in the year 1947, so there is a demand for a creation of these linguistic states, because the statement it is correct. In 1920, the Indian National Congress had promised that after attaining the independence, a major linguistic group would have its own province. That is correct. After independence, the Congress did not take any step to honor its promise of major linguistic groups having their own province, because that they felt that it may disintegrate the country. Option C, the Kannada Telugu speakers had looked forward to having their own state. The strongest protest came from this Telugu speaking people, including the fast unto death by Sri Potti Sriramulu. Okay, so this against the this is incorrect. They were also in favor. Let us see the detailed explanation. The Congress had indeed promised in the 1920s that independent India would recognize the provinces along linguistic lines, but after 1947, Congress was reluctant to act on this promise, as they felt that it would disintegrate the country, which fueled legislation, especially among the Telugu speakers of Madras Presidency, who wanted a separate Andhra state, a demand that intensified after Sri Potti Sriramulu's fast unto death. While the JVP, including Nehru and Patel, was initially cautious about immediate linguistic reorganization, the strongest best evidence set of reasons directly driving the intensified demand are A, B, C. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, so these are the questions. These are the questions from CTET examination, social, from history section.